Your crop doesn't know the forecast, but you do. So when we get into the heat of summer, we need to think about the continued functionality of your plant, of your crop, of your every acre. At Rob Seco, we think about the entirety of the crop season. Think about corn's alive for about 125 days. And as we get into the dog days of July, we think about drought and heat, particularly as we're in the western and the southern type of corn belts. We're using a product known as BioThrive, CropFit BioThrive from Streamline Ag. It helps the functionality during those periods of heat and dry weather. So you have to think about the functionality of every single cell. And we'll use the term osmosis. Osmosis is a terribly important function of the cell. And what that simply means is it's the movement of solution back and forth across every cell's membrane. That keeps those cell membranes turgid, it keeps that cell full, and it keeps it functioning so it can do what? So it can produce sugar every day to reach its goal of reproduction. And what BioThrive, CropFit BioThrive does, it has three components that we just love. Number one is a component known as glycerol. I'm going to use a couple of terms, but glycerol is an osmoprotectant, so it helps protect the cell and the membrane of the cell so it continues to push solution and the osmosis back and forth to increase the functionality and happiness of every cell. Then we think about another material in CropFit BioThrive known as phytosterols. So they help the stability and they give the ability and push almost like a hormone, almost like an auxin. So it gives the cell stability, it gives the cell wall, the cell membrane stability and rigidity, so it can continue to function. It also helps the plant and all cells in the plant recover or repair in those times of extreme heat. I mean, think about heat. Oftentimes we see Nebraska and Kansas, Front Range Colorado, down into Texas, down into Oklahoma. We get a lot of 90, 95, even 100-day weather patterns, but it's not necessarily the heat of the day. It's the overnight temperatures to whereby the plant utilizes the sugar that it built all day long. And we want to help that functionality of the cell. We want to increase the respiration so we don't lose the energy that we collected all day. And then the last component in CropFit BioThrive are a fulvic acid. Fulvic acids are terribly important in a lot of functionality of soil and in plants, but in this particular case, the fulvic acid in CropFit BioThrive will help the permeability of the plant and will help the movement of nutrition and nutrients around the plant. So we get better nutrition, we get better functionality, we build more protein, we divide and elongate cells as we get into the heat of the summer. So remember, we need functionality, we need a lower respiration rate, we need the cells of the plant to remain as complete and as able as they possibly can. We want to help repair, we want to help recover, but we really want to continue to function as July turns up the heat. That's what we do at Rob Seco. CropFit BioThrive. I'm Todd Claussen.